From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It's Tuesday, September 22nd, and right now on Good Morning Indiana.
Both of them were always so loving and caring to others.
A plane crash near Kokomo kills 2 teens. This morning, how their community is remembering them.
It's been awful. I mean, I can't explain it.
WRTV investigates and covers practices at a greenfield business, leaving mourning customers in more pain. Working for you, the actions now being taken by the Indiana Attorney General's office.
If we move forward with S-Power, there will be several years of study before it's decided.
A solar panel project in Shelby County looks to jump its next hurdle. What county leaders are doing today that will shape the future of that project.
Welcome to Good Morning Indiana on this Tuesday, September the 22nd. I'm Rafael Sanchez, of course, with my good friends here, Lauren Casey and meteorologist Todd Clausen. We're all together in Studio A. Can I just say one thing this morning, friends?
Yeah.
Mrs. Sanchez, I'm at work today. I'm not in the living room.
We found him.
The trash is out and the breakfast is on the table. You may want to warm it up. So good morning to everybody. Good morning, team. Good to see all of you.
It is great to see you in person, Rafael. Great to have everyone back here in Studio A for a special day today, I guess you could say. You never know with technology. But Todd, let's talk about the last few hours of summer.
Yeah, you know, fall officially arrives here at 9:30. That's when the sun's passing over the equator. It's going to start to feel like fall maybe as we get towards the end of the weekend into next week again. But for the immediate future, it is going to still feel like summer across the area. Temperatures in the 40s and 50s here this morning. So there's kind of a cool start to your day. But high temperatures will continue to run a little bit above normal the next couple days. Beautiful look at the city from IMS on this clear morning. The satellite radar picture shows all the clouds are off to our west. As far as the rain goes, here's the remnants of Beta. This is going to start to lift to the north in the coming days. We'll start to see some of the cloud cover, but the rainfall, unfortunately, that is going to stay to our south. We really need that rain here in central Indiana. Just not a whole lot in the forecast here going forward. This morning, partly mostly sunny skies, temperatures from the 50s into the 60s, and then kind of a hazy look this afternoon as we deal with some of the smoke from that wildfire, but we remain completely dry with temperatures, again, topping off right around 78, 79 degrees. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thank you. Let's take a look right now at traffic as you're waking up, heading to work or school this morning. Take me up here to Hamilton County. Good morning to you in Carmel. Here's a look at your commute along US 31. This is our view near Rangeline Road where traffic is traveling smoothly. All lanes are open, both northbound and southbound there, so that is great news. No crashes to report around the metro area as well, so we'll continue to keep you updated throughout the morning. Rafael?
At 6:03, it is time for our Democracy 2020 coverage. If you plan to vote absentee in November, please listen up. It could be a little bit more trickier than it was in June for the primary. WRTV's Kelsey Anderson is live this morning with what you need to know. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning. So last week I received a postcard in the mail from the United States Postal Service, which my 4:30 a.m. brain forgot to bring this morning. But it basically said if you plan to vote absentee, you need to start planning ahead. And so for the primary in June, the state had a no excuse absentee. But that has not happened yet for the general election. So as of right now, in order to vote absentee, one of the following must apply to you. You have a specific reasonable excuse why you will be absent from the county on election day. You have a disability. You are at least 65 years of age. You have official election duties outside of your voting precinct. You are scheduled to work during the entire 12 hours that the polls are open. You or someone you care for is sick or injured. You are prevented from voting because of a religious discipline or religious holiday. You are a participant in the state's address confidentiality program. You are a member of the military or a public safety officer. You are a serious sex offender, or you are prevented from voting due to the unavailability of transportation to the polls. Now, to vote absentee, you have to apply, and you need to get on that quickly because it ends in 1 month from today, October 22nd. That is the deadline to apply, and you need to go to indianavoters.com to do that, or you can go to WRTV.com. We've got those links for you if that's what you want to do. Now, if you are concerned about mailing in your absentee vote, you can take it into your election officials once early voting starts, and then you have to have it in by November 3rd by 12. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you. The time right now is 6:05. So how well does the city handle your complaints about IMPD officers? That's what Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett wants to know. He's encouraging the public to take part in a survey. The Citizens Police Complaint Office, that office investigates allegations of improper conduct by police. Mayor Hogsett's office says that your input will help shape the future of CPCO. The survey is available through October 4th. You can find a link to it by downloading the WRTV app.
Might also notify Duke. It looks like that this plane's hit the power pole out through the field.
A horrific situation there in Howard County. And this morning, we're learning more about the deadly plane crash near Kokomo over the weekend. Police said that brothers Liam and Reese Kelly, you see here, along with the pilot, died in the crash. Ava Henson lived in the same Carmel neighborhood as the teens before going off to college.
I got to know them and their family very well. They were always very welcoming and just opening and always had the warmest smiles on their faces.
15-year-old Reese and 17-year-old Liam, along with the pilot, 63-year-old Gerald Long, they died on Sunday when their plane went down near the Glendale airport. This picture shows some of the aftermath from afar. Now, investigators say the boys love flying. Ava hopes the world remembers Liam and Reese for how they lived their lives.
I hope, people will just remember them as the loving people that they were and the hardworking and high achievers they were. Both of them were always so loving and caring to others.
The Kelly brothers were members of the Westfield High School track and cross-country teams. On Monday, the team tweeted this out: "We are overwhelmed with grief as we announce the tragic passing of Liam and Reese Kelly, our friends, our teammates, our brothers. We love you, we will miss you, and we will carry you with us forever."
Well, this morning, the investigation continues into several house fires on the southwest side of Bloomington. Those fires started just before 2 o'clock Monday afternoon on South Wicken Street and spread to 4 homes. 3 of those houses sustained heavy damage in the fires. 1 house was left with minor damage. No injuries are reported here. Firefighters are still trying to figure out how this fire started.
The time now is 6:07, and this morning, the city of Indianapolis says it will not purchase electric car chargers from the former Blue Indy service that was around the city. In December, Blue Indy announced the service would end. Company officials say the service wasn't economically viable. Now, city officials say they're passing on those charging stations because they don't perform at a viable level. The city says they'll seek public input on how to reuse the stations. Plans for the stations are set to be announced early next year.
It is 6:07. A hearing is scheduled for next Tuesday in a case involving a Greenfield headstone company. The Indiana Attorney General's office has filed a lawsuit against that company following a WRTV investigation. Now, we first told you about Greenfield Granite last month after grieving families told us they paid for memorials that they did not receive. The lawsuit accuses the company of violating the Indiana Deceptive Consumer Sales Act by taking money from families and failing to deliver headstones or refunds. Some of the headstones were done incorrectly as well. The AG's office is seeking more than $20,000 in restitution for those customers.
There are a lot of consumers in Hancock County and Greenfield that have reached out and indicated they've been harmed by this company. And not to say that we're at the trial phase in terms of the proof phase, but those allegations we take very seriously at the Consumer Protection Division, and we want to make sure that if we need to, we can move very quickly.
So for now, a court says that Greenfield Granite cannot remove or dispose of any property. The owner of the company died by suicide earlier this month. However, the Attorney General's office says they still have ways to help resolve consumer complaints. WRTV Investigates is working on getting a response from Greenfield Granite.
Lauren, now to the latest on the coronavirus impact here on our state. State health officials reporting 535 new COVID-19 cases on Monday. Now, since the pandemic began, more than 112,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for the virus. This morning, state health officials are highlighting 2 Indiana counties for a high concentration of cases. Those counties include Delaware and Monroe counties. The counties are home to Ball State and Indiana University, respectively. This morning, the CDC is backtracking on coronavirus guidance it just posted on Friday. The agency says the virus can spread through small droplets lingering in the air and travel more than 6 feet. Now that guidance is gone, taken down. The CDC says because it was only a draft and was posted in error.
I think from the beginning with coronavirus, we've had mixed messaging on everything from masks to whether certain drugs or treatments work to whether we should be social distancing or whether lockdowns are needed. And I think this is yet another nail in the coffin of our disastrous response to coronavirus in this country.
A federal official familiar with the situation says that retraction was not due to political pressure from the Department of Health and Human Services or from anyone else. But the official says the retraction was made to follow the CDC to better explain that aerosol transmission can occur, but isn't the primary method of transmission.
The time right now is 6:10. Turning now to the weather, the WRTV storm team has been alerting us about the smoke from those western wildfires, and it is expected to make a return. So Todd, we know that kind of looks like a haze. We've had some beautiful sunsets. What can people here in Indiana expect?
Yeah, you know, the sunsets are great, but when the sun's higher in the sky, kind of just gives that hazy look. So you hear me say, oh, skies are going to be mostly sunny. Then you look up and you say, where's all that blue sky? Well, we've enjoyed the blue sky and the mostly sunny skies and low humidity the past couple days, but this is a computer model showing you where the wildfire smoke is going to be going throughout the day today. And you can see throughout the day those grays, which is more of a haze than dense smoke, makes its way here into central Indiana. And so the sky is going to look very similar to this at times. I took this last week when we were dealing with the smoke from the wildfires. I don't think it's quite as bad as it was last week. And the good news is all these smoke particles way up in the atmosphere, so we do not have to worry about any air quality issues here, Raphael, across the area.
Todd, thank you so much. The long-delayed trial for a gruesome southern Indiana murder now wraps up. Coming up, why attorneys for Joseph Oberhansley say they plan to appeal that ruling. You're watching Good Morning Indiana on this Tuesday on WRTV. Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. A southern Indiana man facing life in prison for murdering his ex-girlfriend and we're told then eating parts of her body. On Friday, Joseph Oberhansley was convicted for killing Tammy Blanton back in 2014. Monday, the jury recommended a sentence of life without the possibility of parole. He does not face a death penalty because of his history of mental illness.
I'm very, very pleased that tonight I can stand here saying mission accomplished, justice has been served, the family can move on, and the community is safe.
But I don't know if anybody else can feel how it feels when a person puts their life in your hands and it comes out like this. Joe now there's a recommendation that he spend the rest of his natural life in prison, and that's very, very difficult for us.
Oberhansley will face formal sentencing sometime next month. His attorneys, they plan to appeal the conviction.
Well, today the Trump administration is set to resume this year's wave of federal executions following a 17-year hiatus. If everything goes ahead as scheduled, William Ennett LaCroix would be the 6th federal death row inmate executed this year at the federal prison out here in Terre Haute. Another is scheduled for Thursday. LaCroix said an obsession with witchcraft led him to slay a Georgia nurse to lift a spell that he believed that she put on him. Lawyers asked the president in a recent petition to change LaCroix's sentence to life in prison. Taking a turn now at 6:16, Hiring Hoosiers is our commitment to connect you to jobs, resources, and training.
And so this morning we want to help you launch your next career with a look at our Hiring Hoosiers job feed. The Mad Hatter is a chimney sweep and repair company right here in Indianapolis, and they want to hire a chimney service technician. The company says carpentry and mechanical skills are desirable, and you must have the ability to climb ladders without the fear of heights and be able to lift a minimum of 80 pounds.
Hendrickson is a company up in Boone County that designs and manufactures suspension systems and components for heavy-duty trucks and trailers. They need assembly line staff, welders, and forklift operators. You can connect with Hendrickson through the website workinboone.com, or you can attend their in-person job fair. It's happening today from 1 until 6 p.m.
And of course, you can learn more about these jobs and so many other open positions through our website at hiringhoosiers.com. Employers also post job opportunities almost every day on the Hiring Hoosiers Facebook page. The time now is 6:17. Time for your local forecast. We're going to hire Todd Clausen for another amazing day in central Indiana. And as always, TK delivers.
Right. Raphael, it is going to be a nice day for us here across the area, and we try to deliver. Hopefully, you can deliver you some rain. I know you don't really, people want rain, but we need the rain really, really bad here across central Indiana. And if we could get some during the week, obviously, it's always better than the weekend. But some of the rain chances do come in here over the weekend. They're minor rain chances, and I think it may time out well for us. I'll have more on that in just a second. One thing you'll notice, as I mentioned just earlier when we profiled the wildfire smoke returning here to central Indiana, more of that hazy sky today to go along with the sunshine that will be out there from start to finish. 44 in Greencastle right now, 46 in Bloomington, 45 is the current temperature right now in Greenfield, one of the cooler spots this morning. Out to the east, Richmond, good morning to you there in Wayne County. You're sitting at 42 degrees. Temperatures will hold fairly steady for the next couple hours, and then as soon as the sun comes up, once again, will moderate very quickly. In fact, it's in the mid-60s by mid-morning, and then eventually high temperatures today will be topping off close to 80 degrees, as I'll show you in just a second. We have a weak little cold front to our north, and that is where that stays. And as far as Tropical Storm Beta goes, it's making landfall right now down just southwest of Houston, but spreading some rain to the north. And hopefully this rain can keep coming to the north, but I don't think it quite gets here to central Indiana. I do think we'll see more in the way of cloud cover in the coming days, but most of the rain itself should stay down to our south. Here are those highs today, right at 80 in Lafayette, 79 in Muncie, 78. The high temperature today in Kokomo. Middle portion of the state, anywhere from 76 to about 78 degrees, and then down to the south, more of the same, 77 in Bloomington today, Greensburg 76, Columbus today at 78 degrees. Everybody this evening will cool into the 60s once the sun sets under a partly cloudy sky, and then overnight tonight, with skies being partly cloudy and more of a southerly wind, temperatures not quite as cool tomorrow morning as they have been in the 40s. Most of us should be in the 50s come tomorrow morning, and then throughout the day tomorrow. One trend I think you will notice is the cloud cover from Tropical Storm Beta moving into the area. So overall, I think we eventually start to trend mostly cloudy for your day on Wednesday, and then those clouds will linger into Thursday as well before by Friday we get back into the sunshine. And then look at the warmth on Saturday, 81 degrees, but late Saturday, that's when the cold front goes through with the potential for and hopefully some rainfall, and could time out well because most of it could fall while you're sleeping. And then as we get into Sunday, some scattered rain showers continue at 77 degrees. Lauren?
All right, Todd, we have a traffic alert for drivers in Boone County this morning. Listen up if you take I-65 southbound through that area. Here's a live look from our INDOT traffic camera at State Road 267. This is in the Whitestown area, and what we have here is a crash blocking both the right lane and the left lane, and that's bringing traffic to almost a complete standstill. As you can see here, it's just barely creeping along in the southbound side of the interstate. This is creating a little bit of a backup, as you can imagine. So if you are traveling in this direction, either give yourself some extra time. Maybe if you're heading in from areas as far north as Lebanon, you can even get off the interstate, take Indianapolis Road there as a detour that runs along the side of the interstate. We'll continue to monitor this. No reports of any injuries at this time, but a bit of a mess as drivers on the northwest side and in Boone County are trying to get closer to Indianapolis this morning. We'll continue to monitor this and keep you updated.
Lauren, a mess that requires a lot of patience this morning. You'll keep us up to date on that, I'm sure. Here's a long list, Lauren, for you. Pumpkins, apple cider, and don't forget the flannel. Coming up, we're looking at how the coronavirus pandemic is changing your favorite fall fashion.
And tonight, here on Dancing with the Stars, the big question, will the viewer vote propel Carol Baskin out of last place, or has she roared her final roar? Coming up on GMA, we'll hear from the Queen of Cats on everything from Lady Gaga to her beloved cats. The interview you don't want to miss is coming up only on GMA. Good morning to Markville, Monrovia, and Meridian Hills. The time right now is 6:21 here on your Tuesday. You're watching Good Morning Indiana. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The time right now is 6:24 here, and we're monitoring this traffic alert for drivers in Boone County. I-65, the southbound lanes near State Road 267, a mess due to a crash blocking right and left lane. So that's bringing traffic to a halt. All brake lights out that way. Give yourself that extra time if you can get off the southbound interstate. Maybe take Indianapolis Road as a detour this morning. We'll keep our eyes on the spot and keep you updated. Raphael, right now, though, it is time to talk about what is trending at 6.
Usually I'm home home in the living room and I'm just talking to myself or just on the living room or watching other TV shows on Netflix. But this morning, a new survey shows that 40% of pet owners would give up their dog for a month rather than ditch their phone. I don't really believe that because dogs are family, but okay, I'll go along. Simple texting polled more than 1,000 smartphone users right here in our country. The point was to see what sacrifices Americans were willing to make in order to keep using their devices. Dogs did have a slight advantage over romance.
Oh,
what?
man.
44% of the people surveyed said they would go without seeing their partners for a month if they cannot keep their cell phones. Now, I believe that one, but I don't think you give up your dog for your cell phone.
No, I don't know if I believe either of those, but maybe we're pretty addicted to them. All right, well, Raphael, Halloween will be a little more spooky this year.
Okay.
The sky will be lit by a blue moon, the second full moon in October. This will also be the first blue moon in the U.S. since March 2018. Despite its name, though, the blue moon is not necessarily blue. The phrase once in a blue moon usually means a rare occurrence it can be lucky or unlucky. 2020, we're guessing this is probably an unlucky occurrence. So if you're experiencing something weird this Halloween, chalk it up to the blue moon.
Well, my computer did not work this morning, thus I'm going to chalk it to that blue moon. Congratulations to Reverend Benjamin Santiago. Benjamin is the senior chaplain with the Madison County Sheriff's Office in Anderson. He's known in Anderson for his caring heart and his compassion for many, many people. Thanks to him and to all those giving their personal best today. He is a great guy, and here's another great guy in Studio A with your forecast on this Tuesday morning.
Oh, thank you, Raphael. It's going to be a nice day weather-wise as well across the area. Skies are going to be mostly sunny. It's going to kind of be that hazy look, though, as we deal with some of that wildfire smoke making its way through central Indiana. But temperatures are going to be running above normal, not only today, but really for the next 5 days. As we go into the weekend, highs, in fact, will even climb up into the low 80s. That's above the average high of 76 degrees. It's probably not until Monday of next week that we go back below normal, and that's due to a cold front that moves through late Saturday, early on Sunday. And that will be our next best chance of seeing any rainfall here, Lauren, across the area.
All right, Todd, thank you. Well, it is the first day of fall, and in a normal year, that would mean it's time to break out the flannels, boots, blazers. Working for you, our John Matarese shows us how the coronavirus is changing fall fashion so you don't waste your money.
The pandemic has changed so many things this year, with children learning remotely, their parents working from home, and everyone dressing a lot more casually. Fall used to be a season for new fashion for both men and women, with boots, blazers, and fall dresses the hottest thing. For the guys, it was time for a new power suit, but not anymore. If you saw any posts about the Emmys the other night, you might have seen Reese Witherspoon, Octavia Spencer, and other stars posing in their PJs, loungewear, and slippers. E-Online says people are choosing comfort over appearance this year. That means sales are hot for PJs, oversized sweatshirts, athletic pants, and of course slippers. And Vogue says if you need a woman's suit, the hottest trend this fall is a patchwork quilt, just like what you're sitting on while working from home. Until there's a return to the office, if there ever is one, the power suit and power lunch will probably be relegated to the movies. So don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese. Good morning, Indiana.
And for more cost-saving tips and ideas, you can visit the money section of our website, WRTV.com.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
And now on Good Morning Indiana on this Tuesday morning, let's take a look at your 6:30 news feed. 2 people are dead after this house fire in Carroll County. This happened Monday on South State Road 29 near Burlington. A man and a woman were both found dead inside this home. Their identities have not been released, and investigators are still trying to figure out what caused that fire.
A southern Indiana man facing life in prison for murdering his ex-girlfriend and eating parts of her body. Last week, Joseph Oberhansley was convicted for killing Tammy Blanton in 2014. On Monday, the jury recommended a sentence of life without the possibility of parole. He does not face the death penalty because of his history of mental illness.
And the Colts may have won on Sunday, but they also lost 2 key players to injuries. We're learning now that wide receiver Paris Campbell went down with a knee ligament injury. The Colts are ruling him out for a return later this year. That's not the case for starting safety Malik Hooker. Hooker will miss the rest of the season with a torn Achilles. The Colts are back home against the Jets this coming Sunday. But first, we want to thank you for joining our team here on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey, and it's a great Tuesday because both my guys are here in the studio with me. Raphael, we don't mind when you have computer issues because we get to see your face.
Computer issues, which meant I could not give Todd the very best Johnson County weather report. And Todd, I feel a little underdressed. You have a tie, I don't. And Todd, that's because I want to be back in my living room tomorrow morning. We'll hope and see what happens. But give us a great forecast on this Tuesday.
Yeah, you know, it is a good forecast here going forward. We're really carrying the nice weather from yesterday over into today. The one subtle change you'll notice is a little more of a hazy sky out there today, and that's due to the smoke from the wildfires moving through. But otherwise, it's going to be mostly sunny. 53 right now in Indy, 47 in Bloomington, Lafayette, currently at 52 degrees. And across the area, the skies are completely quiet. That is the good news. We'll expand out for you. And you do notice quite a bit of rainfall to our south. This is Tropical Storm Beta that made landfall on the Texas Gulf Coast earlier this morning. Mainly just a rainmaker for them, but there's a lot of flooding. And we really need some of this rainfall to make it here in central Indiana. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like that is going to happen, especially today. If we see anything, it's probably more in the way of cloud cover from that storm, and that's tomorrow into Thursday. So today, partly to mostly sunny skies. Pretty big temperature jump here from 8 a.m. to the noon hour, 20 degrees, with high temperatures today anywhere from about 76 to 80 degrees. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thank you. A traffic alert right now for drivers in Boone County. Be aware of a crash we're monitoring here in the southbound lanes of I-65 near State Road 267. So this is impacting drivers in Whitestown as well as areas north of that Lake Lebanon. This is your commute. It's at a standstill. Number of tail lights here as drivers are coming to a complete stop in the southbound lanes. The crash here is blocking a left lane and a right lane, and crews are working to clear that right now. But as you can see, it's snarling traffic for your Tuesday commute. So we'll continue to monitor this. The backup is starting to extend past State Road 267, a little bit back there. So keep that in mind. Indianapolis Road would be a great detour this morning. It is 6:31. We do have new information on the police shooting that left 3 people injured on the east side of Indianapolis. We can tell you one man is facing a preliminary battery charge. Police say when they arrived at this scene on Pleasant Run Parkway Sunday, they found a group of about 20 people, some armed with guns, pepper spray, other weapons. Police say that gunshots were being fired in multiple directions, and at one point, a suspect pointed a weapon at police. That's when the officer returned fire. The suspect was injured. According to police, 2 women were also shot by another suspect. Police tell us this disturbance stemmed from a disagreement on social media. IMPD's critical response team is investigating the shooting. The department is still in the process of deploying body cameras to all of its officers, but police say that one of the assisting officers at this scene did have a body camera on that was activated.
The time now is 6:32 in Louisville, Kentucky. Police are getting ready as we could be close to finding out whether criminal charges will be filed against the police officers who shot and killed Breonna Taylor. ABC's Megan Tavrizian tells us we're also learning more about the officers involved in the botched raid that led to this tragedy.
This morning, police in Louisville declaring a state of emergency as the department prepares for a decision to be handed down in the state's investigation into Breonna Taylor's shooting death. Federal buildings and other downtown businesses already boarded up. The police chief canceling all vacation requests within the department to ensure officers are standing by. The announcement coming from Kentucky's Attorney General will decide whether criminal charges will be filed against 4 officers involved in Taylor's death. People already gathering outside the AG's office this week in anticipation of the decision.
Just do your job. It's just that simple.
It comes as the department's professional standards unit is also separately investigating those officers and 2 additional detectives for their role in the shooting. Taylor was shot March 13th. She and her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, were sleeping when 3 plainclothes officers executed a no-knock search warrant as part of a drug investigation linked to Taylor's ex-boyfriend.
This is not a woman who would sacrifice her life and her family morals and values to sell drugs on the street.
Walker, a registered gun owner, said he fired at the door thinking it was a break-in. Officers returned fire, striking Taylor 8 times. Investigators never found drugs or drug money in the apartment.
Say her name!
Taylor's death sparking nationwide protests against police violence.
Her death has ignited a movement in Louisville and the nation for racial justice, sending thousands into our streets and cities all across the country and the world.
Earlier this month, the city reached a $12 million settlement with Taylor's family in a wrongful death lawsuit. The settlement also includes a list of police reforms.
Although police are preparing right now, there's still no word on a timetable for the Attorney General's decision. After Breonna's shooting death, 3 officers were placed on administrative leave and 1 was fired. Megan Tavrizian, ABC News, San Diego.
It is 6:34. WRTV is getting results. After 2 years, a vacant, partially collapsed house that neighbors call dangerous, it's now demolished. People who live on South Harlan Street reached out to WRTV's Cameron Riddle about a year ago after finding needles on the ground where their kids walked to the bus stop. So we reached out to the city and continued to demand answers after the demolition was delayed. On Monday, bulldozers finally arrived to the property to knock it down.
Finally, after it was burnt down 2 years ago this month, and we've been fighting with the city for the past year or so, trying to get it down because we found needles at the bus stop over here, vagrants, kids climbing in and out. We're just waiting for someone to get hurt, and finally it's down.
Well, if you have a similar problem in your neighborhood, before you call WRTV, you can use the Citizen Access Portal to research permits and demolition or repair cases. You can also report issues to the Mayor's Action Center or the Request Indy app or website.
More people are voting by mail than ever before this year, as you know. Coming up, our Democracy 2020 coverage continues with a live report on what you need to know if you're casting that absentee ballot. You're watching Good Morning Indiana on this Tuesday right here on WRTV. Morning Indiana, our coverage of Democracy 2020 continues right here. For more than a year, WRTV has been following that controversy within the Northwest Hendricks School Corporation. Our Kara Kenny has brought us those investigations for more than a year now. And school leaders have faced criticism for how they handled the sexual misconduct allegations involving a teacher and a student. Now, 3 candidates are challenging 2 incumbents for 2 open school board seats in Northwest Hendricks. The challengers are David Pyatt, Abby Morgan, and Joe Brooks. The incumbents, Jim DiAgostino and Craig Peoples, have been criticized for removing public comment from board meetings and for not taking swifter action involving misconduct involving Tri-West employees. All 3 challengers say they want to make changes and improve transparency and communication between the board and the community. So WRTV will be talking to all 3 challengers, Abby Morgan, Joe Brooks, and Dave Pyatt, live on the WRTV Facebook page this Wednesday at 5 p.m. Make sure to join us for this school board candidate forum for Northwest Hendricks. Again, that's Wednesday at 5 p.m. on the WRTV Facebook page. The incumbents have not agreed to join us. Today happens to be National Voter Registration Day, and while some are focusing on making sure people are registered to cast their ballot, those already registered are thinking about how they will vote in this year's general election.
Yeah, it could be a little different this year, Raphael. So if you're planning to vote absentee in November, we know it could be a little bit trickier than what you had to do in the primary election that was held back in June during the pandemic. So our own Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning with more on what you need to know if you plan to vote by mail. Hey, Kelsey.
Hey, good morning. So the election's not until November, but if you are planning on voting absentee, you need to start planning ahead because the deadline to apply for that absentee ballot is in just 1 month from today, October 22nd. So in June, the state approved no excuse absentee, but that has not happened yet for the general election. So as of right now, there are very specific things that will allow you to vote by mail. You can see all of those on WRTV.com. However, you don't have to mail in that absentee. So if you have concerns on mailing your ballot, you can turn it in person to your county's election board at early voting sites or on election day at any voting site before noon. Now, the deadline to apply to vote absentee again is October 22nd, and you can do that at indianavotes.com. And again, if you don't want to wait in that long line, if you are planning on voting in person, you don't want to wait in line, there are early voting sites that are going to be opening up. Just reach out to your county clerks to figure out when and where those sites are. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
All right, Kelsey, thank you. Here are some more dates and deadlines you need to remember. So Election Day is November 3rd. Early voting begins on October 6th. If you need to vote absentee, you should file for an application for a ballot immediately. The deadline to turn in your ballot application is October 22nd. Then when you get your absentee ballot, you must have it filled out and turned into the county election officials by noon on Election Day. We have collected all of this information, plus everything else you need to know to get ready for the general election. It's all in one easy place. Just go to WRTV.com/vote in 2020.
So this project promises good things for their county, but some people who live there say it could be a huge loss for them and their families. Next, the reason they feel they're being ignored. But first, let's check your forecast with Todd Clausen. Good morning, TK.
Raphael, good morning. It's another quiet morning here of weather as the kids head off to the bus stop. Probably want to have the light jacket handy. On average, the temperatures right around 51 degrees with partly cloudy skies. We'll have some hazy sunshine here throughout the day today, but that will not prevent the temperatures from getting back above normal into the mid to upper 70s we go. We'll talk all about your forecast not only for today, but in the days ahead coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues.
It is 6:44 and we still have this traffic alert for drivers in Boone County heading southbound on Interstate 65. This is a live look near State Road 267 where we're still monitoring this crash cleanup blocking a left and right lane. But you can see traffic is pretty much coming to a standstill, and then occasionally a few cars are getting by here in the Whitestown area. So avoid this spot if you can. The backup is starting to stretch back towards the Lebanon area. So get off the interstate, take Indianapolis Road as a detour if you can, or just give yourself lots of extra time this morning. We'll continue to keep our eyes on this and let you know when things open back up. So it's a personal fight for many families with historical ties to their farmlands out in Shelby County.
Lauren, it's a project that supporters say could bring clean energy to their areas, but some other families say their pleas are being rejected by the county. Shelby County commissioners once again shot down another request for a 6-month moratorium from property owners seeking to beef up an ordinance focused on a solar power project.
What harm could it do? I mean, we're not out here against the property owners today. We're not out here against the company today. We're out here asking for a 6-month moratorium to protect our people. Outside,
in this circle, people raising concerns that solar panels could be installed on prime farmland, which they say could be a setback for the local economy and environment.
I'm here just to provide answers on how I think personally solar is good, and I'd be more than happy to talk about that after the meeting.
Sean Kavanaugh is the one going door to door, seeing who's interested in S-Power's plan on a solar project. Kavanaugh can't talk to the media, but he says people have shown interest in selling or leasing their property.
If we move forward with S-Power, there will be several years of study before it's decided. I will be contracting with someone from Purdue as a consultant.
Those in opposition, they promise not to go away.
Once one of these groups comes in and they apply for this, in as little as 1 month, maybe 2 months, it can be passed, and there's nothing anybody can do about it.
And that's why they are not going away. Tonight, the people reviewing the county's current ordinance there in Shelby County, the Planning Commission, will have a public discussion on this matter. We will keep you posted. Lauren?
Raphael, the Gulf Coast is getting drenched by yet another storm this morning. Tropical Storm Beta came ashore, triggering flash floods in the Houston area. Heavy rains, high winds, they took part of the pier in Galveston off as well. The storm is expected to impact large areas of the Gulf, including some that are still recovering from Hurricane Laura 3 weeks ago. Back here at home, though, a quiet start to our Tuesday as we soak up the last little bit of summer that we have. Todd, what can folks expect as they head out for their commute?
Yeah, no, just need a light jacket as you walk out the door, and that should be just about it, Lauren. As temperatures right now are sitting in the 40s and 50s, depending where you are. And here's a live look at downtown Indianapolis, looking mighty fine here on this Tuesday morning with sunrise. Not officially for about another 40 minutes, but those skies should start to brighten here shortly. 44 in Greencastle, 42 is the the current temperature in Richmond, 47 in Bloomington, running a little bit warmer in the city at 53 degrees. Today is probably the last morning this week that we have widespread 40s across the area. I think we'll start trending a little bit warmer each day for the remainder of the week for our overnight lows. Still comfortable getting down into the 50s and 60s, but probably just not quite as cool as the 40s across the area. Mostly sunny skies this morning, then we'll trend to more hazy sunshine as we work our way into the afternoon hours. Your noontime temperature today right around 70 degrees, eventually climbing up into the mid to upper 70s for us here across the area. So it's a seasonable day for us. In fact, a couple degrees above normal. And I mentioned hazy sunshine. The past couple days, it's been mostly sunny, as you know, with that nice bright blue sky. Today, a little more hazy with the smoke from those wildfires making its way into the area. And as we expand out, the clouds from Tropical Storm Beta not too far away. The rains in Arkansas and extreme southern Missouri, with the center of the storm still near Houston. Unfortunately, the center of the storm is just going to make its way through the southeast once again. Probably close enough to give us some cloud cover at times, but no rainfall in this forecast as we go over on TrueCast here throughout the day today. And then even into the day tomorrow, we'll have partly to mostly cloudy skies. It continues just to be nice and quiet here across the area. But we do need that rain for some areas here across the state going forward. And I think probably Saturday's the next best chance of that happening. Sunset 7:41. Temperatures will fall into the 60s once the sun sets. Not as cool overnight tonight with a low of 51 degrees. And then as we work our way throughout the day tomorrow, partly cloudy skies to start. And then we'll trend mostly cloudy as Beta passes to our south. Thursday, mostly cloudy. Still mild, though, at 79 degrees. And then we're up to 81 on Saturday. Most of Saturday's dry, then the cold front goes through. As that front goes through, some showers and storms could linger into Sunday morning. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thank you. We are keeping our eyes on this crash right now in Boone County on the southbound lanes of I-65, impacting a right lane and a left lane here at State Road 267 in the Whitestown area. The backup is growing, heading back towards Lebanon. You'll start to notice a few slowdowns. So just keep that in mind. This is part of a construction zone as well, as you see some of the flashing lights there on your screen. So just use caution. It's moving slowly through this area, so it's not at a complete stop at this time, but be prepared to stop and hit the brakes as you head through that area. You can always get off the interstate, take Indianapolis Road as a detour, and of course we'll keep you updated.
Take that detour this morning in that area. Lauren, thank you so much. A local organization is helping students in difficult situations learn new skills to become leaders in their community. ProAct Indy was given $25,000 for this initiative. It will bring weekly leadership and social equality workshops to students at the Condense Academy and the City Prep. The group will also plan monthly service projects. School leaders say it will help them take them to learn in the classroom and put those skills into action.
The hope is that we want our kids to find themselves and discover who they are as individuals, discover where they see themselves aligning with how they can address issues in the community, and then find their passions and then live out their passions through service.
Through the program, students will also get to plan their own service project. The time now, of course, 6:51. Back with your top stories on this Tuesday morning next, right here on Good Morning Indiana.
Welcome back. Drivers who take I-65 southbound for your commute through Boone County, this will impact you. A crash right now still blocking a left and right lane at State Road 267 in the Whitestown area. You can see all those taillights out that way. Traffic is backing up. So you can use Indianapolis Road as a detour. Just give yourself that extra time. We are monitoring this situation. Here at 6:54, it is Tuesday morning. Let's take a look at your top stories this morning, Raphael.
Westfield High School is mourning the loss of two brothers who were among the three people killed in a weekend plane crash. Liam and Reese Kelly died in that crash on Sunday in Kokomo, along with the plane's pilot, Gerald Long. The Kelly brothers were members of the Westfield High School track and cross-country teams. A third teenager was also on the plane, remains in the hospital.
Investigators are trying to figure out what caused several homes to catch fire on the southwest side of Bloomington. The fire started just before 2 o'clock Monday afternoon on South Wicken Street and spread to 4 homes. 3 of those houses sustained heavy damage. No injuries are reported.
A judge says that a headstone company in Hancock County cannot remove or dispose of any property while a lawsuit plays out in court. The state attorney general's office sued Greenfield Granite following reports from from WRTV investigates Kara Kenny. The company is accused of taking money from families but failing to deliver headstones or refunds.
And listen up, a reminder, WRTV's Hiring Hoosiers is teaming up with the Indiana Black Expo to help you find your next job. Today we're hosting a virtual Hiring Hoosiers Employment Opportunity Fair. It all starts at noon. Multiple companies are taking part. That includes FedEx, First Merchants Bank, Indianapolis Airport Authority, Lowe's, and more. For more information on how to take part, just go to hiringhoosiers.com. Well, Todd Raphael, it is the final morning commute of the summer, the official commute of the summer.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's it like out there, Todd?
You know, it's not bad. Temperatures are a little on the cool side, so it feels a little like fall this morning, but it'll feel a little more like summer later on this afternoon as we get up to 79, 79. Pretty common theme as far as the temperatures go here for the remainder of the week. You will notice a little more in the way of cloud cover the next couple days compared to what we've been seeing, and that's due to the remnants of Tropical Storm Beta, or what will be the remnants of Tropical Storm Beta moving to our south. Our best chance of rain is going to be late Saturday into Sunday as a cold front makes it through the area, taking our temperatures from 81 on Saturday to 72 on Monday.
So I love you guys. I look forward to being back in my living room tomorrow as we continue to socially distance here at WRTV.
Yeah, and we'll be back here today in 25 minutes and all throughout Good Morning America with news, weather, and traffic updates. We'll keep you updated if you're a driver in Boone County. Give yourself that extra time. Thanks for joining us here on Good Morning Indiana. Have a great Tuesday.
What a view. Wow, look at that skyline.